Is it on? Yes, it's on. And it's straight. Okay, so good morning. No, it's good afternoon. It's 12:01 p.m. We are at a favorite spot. I'll let the viewers of the video guess. Now, last time I was here I went that way, and this time I'm going this way. There's the vehicle. So, today is, what is it? Thursday, March 26th. Let's see, check that, yeah. Thursday, March 26th, 2026. So in case you didn't guess it, that is the Imperial Trailhead, downtown Imperial, Pennsylvania. And it is going to be at least in the mid-70s today. Believe that. March 26th. It's a little windy, but it's warm. It's a warm breeze. Hi. So yeah, I was here a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like March 9. It was a Monday. I went in the other direction towards the tunnel, and it was windy, but it was cold. Not really cold, but it was like very cool, and could have used like a sweater or something, but I didn't, so I was really not liking that trip too much. The wind was hitting my ears, and man, it was nasty. Now today I have a short sleeve shirt and shorts. Feels great. Thought I wasn't going to be able to come out today. It's supposed to rain, but it turns out the rain and the storms are coming this evening and tonight. And once again, it's hyped. That's all you hear about nowadays. Well, potential tornadoes, potential hail. I'm not too worried about it. Storm's coming at nighttime. Probably not as bad as if they were coming in the heat of the day with all that energy. But you never know. So I was just out on Sunday. It was in the 70s. And it dropped down to like in the 40s. Now today's in the 70s. Tomorrow's going to be back down in the 40s. That's what happens. This is my favorite girders here, and they got a sign. Let's see what the heck this sign is, because this is brand new, man. New sign. Brand new sign. Lincoln Highway. Well, maybe it was somewhere else, but I don't think so. I haven't seen this before. This is new. Let's get a alternate video. So one can frame it. All right, let's take time to read it now. Ooh, shit. Okay, Lincoln Highway, first, okay, blah, blah, blah. We know all this stuff. It's pretty cool to see, though. Brand spanking new sign. St. Columkille. Okay, so anyway, there's downtown Imperial. And over there, to my right, or maybe it's almost straight ahead. I think it's pretty close to straight ahead. When I first came to school out here, firstly, let's look at these girders for a second. Look how cool these girders are, man. These are some tall girders. Yeah, let's get all right, we got to do it. We got to do it. So here we are. And the girder go all the way up there. And there's my arm, if you can see it, my hand. It's way up there. Okay. Alright. Let's just get a 360 shot, see where the hell we're at. It's a cool shot right there. With me standing in the middle of the girders. Alright. Anyway, when I came to West Allegheny School District back in, geez, when was that? 1971, maybe. Around 1970 or 71. First thing had to be done is for gym class, I said, you got to get yourself a West Allegheny like t-shirt and shorts for gym class. And you got to go downtown. It's right over there, across the way, in the Main Street or whatever it's called. A place called S&D, Sarah Sheen and Diamond. And my parents were like, what do you mean we gotta buy it? Yeah, you gotta buy it yourself. We don't provide that. You buy it. So you had to go there and buy a, they're the ones that printed up the West Allegheny t-shirts and shorts. So that was my introduction to Imperial. Went to, what was the name of that? The junior high was down at the intersection of Route 30 and Route 22. Right now there's like, some kind of supermarket there. There's like McDonald's and things like that, but that was a junior high school. Now this sign coming up on the right, just looking at it from here, you can't see it, but it seems like the container that's in, the wood, that looks new. Maybe they spruced up all these signs and added out new one there back at the overpass. This is the one that used to say the Clinton mine. That wood surely looks new. It's like a reddish color on it. The frame. Let's check it out. Yeah, that looks new. At least the frame is. Well, maybe I don't know if that looks brand new, but Clinton Block Mine. Since we did the alternate situation, we'll do it again here for consistency purposes. Alrighty then. Nice. Thinking back to a couple of years ago, about 2.5 years ago, I got that bike. I think this was my first bike trip, was on this. Went this direction. And I really wasn't too good at it at first. It's like, wow. I used to ride bikes all the time when I was a kid, but skipping about 50 years and then get back on a bike, and it's a little tricky at first, but I mastered it. Again, it's a cool wall I always like to see. There's a road right up there. Let me lift that up, the camera up, see that? And then there's the wall. That wall is getting pretty beat up. Mile marker 9. You have to keep remembering that mile marker 8 was back. We didn't see it on this trip, but it was back in that direction, back on the other side of the Imperial Trailhead. We're about halfway from there to that one intersection in Enloe. So I'm going to take a wild guess and say the Imperial Trailhead was approximately 8.5 mile marker. Now, that can be verified, but we don't want to do that right now. But that can be verified easily by looking at the trailhead map, or trailhead listing in the maps. Get the exact number. I'm feeling pretty good today, man. Heart rate's going real good. Walking uphill. It's great. And this is going to continue uphill for this whole trip that I'm going to be on today, because it goes uphill pretty much all the way up to Boggs. Now, I'm not going all the way to Boggs. I can always tell how good I'm feeling because I walk faster and not even really realizing it. Then I say, oh, I better slow it down. Okay, here's something that was going on today. So, look, I support Trump. I support what he's doing. And he's having one of those cabinet meetings again today. And he's on there, and I was getting ready to go out, and he's going on and on and on. But what's he talking about? Instead of just talking about, the country or the war or whatever, in addition, he's going on and on about how he's a great builder and he built all these buildings and for a small amount of money, and Jerome Powell's a crook and an incompetent liar, and he's spending $4 billion on a building, and I could do that for $25 million. It's going on and on. It's like, you know what, man? This doesn't have anything to do with the cabinet or the country. Some of it, but he's like belaboring it. That's the part I don't like. He can't help himself, you know. And I can understand the left going nuts on that. And they're like, oh man, this guy is such a blowhard. But you gotta take that. Take the good, take the bad with the good. Like, you gotta put up with that so that we can have, you know, all the other accomplishments he's done for the country. But it was getting a little bit sickening hearing that. He tells a joke every time. It's so ridiculous. And then all the guys around the cabin, they're like, oh, yeah. And they're like laughing like they were paid to laugh or something. He says things like, well, it's 98% reduction. Now we're still trying to find out where's that other 2%. And he says that same joke. Whatever. I ain't bad mouthing him. I'm just starting to get a little irritated at it. Boy, he's really trying to change everything about the country to get it back on track. Hi. Let's get a drink of water, man. The wind is blowing. I'm getting thirsty. Whew. Yeah. What I like about Trump is he's not content with the status quo or just going along like all the other presidents have done. Just let things go. Don't do anything about anything important. Make it worse, actually. You know, like Biden or Obama. Just keep making things worse. But don't do anything to improve anything. Trump, on the other hand, it's like changing the whole fabric of everything. I mean, think about it. Get rid of the woke. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. If he could get that Save America Act passed, that would be monumental. Such common sense, but let's get rid of the illegals from the voting rolls. It's major what he's doing. Trying to change our culture back to something more normal. We have become unrecognizable, our country, before him, I mean. Think back to the way things were 20, 30, 40 years ago. Now what's considered normal, it's just crazy. This is pretty cool up here. It'll get better once we get past these homes. See these homes in your line of sight, to there, to the left, and to the right. It's not as scenic. It's going to get scenic real soon. What cracks me up is they'll play clips of the Dems like 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they're saying the same exact thing that Trump is saying. You know, we have to do this with the illegals. We have to take care of Iran. We have to do this. Now, they're against it only because he's doing it. They have no credibility at all. It's just disgusting. Don't get involved in politics. It's a dirty business. Yes, some uphill going here. Oh, pretty good though. Heart rate is increasing ever so slightly. Everything's within good range. Now there's some scenic views right up that hill there. And when those leaves come in, that'll look really nice because that's reminiscent of down there, where is that? PRT station, you go across Route 88, heading towards Peters Township. Once you get past all those apartment buildings, and there's this nice area that looks like this. Thinking about expanding to other trails this year. All I've ever done since 2023 is this trail and the Panhandle Trail. You know, Montour Trail and Panhandle Trail, but thinking about trying some other ones. There's a little unofficial pathway right there. I've been down with the body cam where people take their bikes and go down onto the road. Yeah, when there's no leaves on the tree, you'll see up here when we get up towards Santiago, you'll be able to see that one building better. It's to the left, but not for a while. There's 9.5 mile marker. Wow, we're making good time. Wow, look at that. I've gone 1 mile. Well, yeah, it's not that great. So if you can do like 1 mile in 20 minutes, that's 3 miles an hour. I'm a little less than that. That's okay. I'm not keeping any records. I'm not trying to break any records. Hi. Now there's a house you can see up there. Figure I did stop back there a couple times, took some pictures, you know, alternate videos, so. My progress today so far. I don't know what that is up there. There's a house. Alright, so that goes back to Imperial. Move this ever so slowly, so when you're watching it, you don't get dizzy. That way goes to Santiago. remember when I first started school up here at West Allegheny. I don't know who the kid was. I don't remember names of people, but I mean, some of them I do. But anyway, there's this kid. I go, where do you live? He goes, San Diego. Like, San Diego? California? No, San Diego. San Diego. I'm like, oh, where's that at, man? Pennsylvania? You talking about? Where? What the hell are you talking about? And he explained it. He said it was up here. And I went home and told my parents, I'm like, they were saying that that's San Diego. What the hell? Meanwhile, it's called Santiago. I did not know that. So seeing those couple of signs that looked improved and new, that one's new, I hope that they refurbish some of the other ones. There's one, for example, well, at the other side of the Enloe Tunnel, that one's kind of messed up. It got like some spray paint or something on it, people did. There's also that one out by the National Tunnel that used to be really nice like about a year ago. Then the last time I was there, it was someone had spray painted on it, black paint, and someone tried to get the paint off, but people destroy things. That's what I hate. Alright, so we're coming up upon the Santiago Road. That's a pretty good view right here. So let's break out this camera again. Alright, so Trail Imperial, Trail Santiago. There's a bunch of roads now. The first road down there is Santiago Road. That goes under this underpass over here, or overpass, whatever you want to call it. And that road up there is Boggs. It goes up to Boggs Trailhead. And that down there, where is it? Right down there, that goes back to Imperial. Huh. Oh. How many times have I taken these videos of this place? I'll keep doing it too. Hi. There. I noticed. So here's the overpass over top of Santiago Road. And in the summertime you would never even realize what's down there with all the trees and leaves and everything. But right here you can see there's a road down there. There's Santiago Road over here. Comes a Bronco. You have to slow down for the overpass or underpass. It's like a narrow underpass. Now here's that old-time fences that I love. These are beat. Boy, they need to be replaced. You can see certain rails have been replaced. Like this one has a couple of newer rails, the upper two. The rest of this is beat up. Now here's that sign. Let's see if this sign's new and improved. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So here's the North Star Junction. Make sure you don't step in anything weird here. Okay. Now that sign is not improved, not refurbished. It's still kind of beat up, but it's still legible. So let's get since we're doing this, we might as well complete the trifecta. North Star Junction. Yeah. Nice sign. I wish that was still here, man. I mean, the track is what I'm talking about. I don't want to step in anything weird shit here, but this looks like some crap or something. Anyway, see, like it says North Star Junction in 1981, showing the original line diverging to the left towards Santiago. And it said this sign is at the switch location. And now what's weird about that? Okay, see at the bottom it says by 1960 the original rail line to Santiago had been removed beyond this junction, but the Y remained until 1984. So this part right up here, I wish you could still see some of that, but you can't. They reclaimed it. They took all the rail away. I really wish you could still see that. It'll be right over in there somewhere. It would have been. It's windy. Like I said before, I'm sure there's still some kind of remnants of that over there, some kind of rails or pieces of wood or whatever. But we're not going over there. Wow, this is some serious uphill right here. I remember that time a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, came up here and there's a turkey, a couple of turkeys coming across. Pretty soon we're going to get into the pollen season. Not looking forward to that. I was looking up other trails, like for example the Gap Trail, Great American Passage, goes from like Pittsburgh all the way down to DC. And from what I can gather from that, it looks like that's mostly bikers mostly bikes. I'm sure you can walk on it, but I'm just saying, everybody talks about the bike riding on that trail. I was looking at a bunch of videos. I didn't see anybody really walking on it. It's going to take a while to get to some of the trailheads for me. But downtown Pittsburgh is okay, but I mean, if you want to go to ones out in the country, like for example West Newton or something like that, you're going to spend some time driving to that location just for the trailhead. Alright, so here's that pipeline. Comes a bike. There's that. Let's go walk on this. I don't want to step in anything. Hi. So there's that covered fence. Or I mean, not covered. I was going to say covered bridge. Forget it. What am I thinking, man? I'm not thinking straight. Alright, here we go. There we go. This is where the pipeline comes through. And right down there's that cool little bridge. There's a school over there. Let's turn it around. Look at this. Pipeline goes up this hillside. Now there's a sign knocked down. One of those old rail signs. I didn't really realize this from before. I should have seen this from before. That sign right there is one of those old rail ones. Metal. It would have had a number written on it, a mile marker, but in white, but it's not there now, and it's just laying there. Huh, cool. See, there's remnants of stuff, man. You gotta keep looking. I'm sure there's remnants of that Y in that track that goes through Santiago. This is where that turkey was a couple years ago. Came across up here, and then I went over to the right. I went over this ridge and walked around in there a little bit and got pictures of the turkey. There's a bench. In fact, I was like right in here where that turkey was. Now I hear something crawling over there. What is it? Oh, there's a squirrel right there. Turn your head for a second and you lose him. I see where he's at right now. Let's, we're not going to be able to get this. Forget it. I mean, we're not going to get that before he runs away. Yeah, I've been watching all these videos, like I said the other day, on YouTube. They're also on Facebook and other places, but these so-called First Amendment auditors, where they go to public locations, like a post office, or outside a bank, outside a shopping center. I see somebody up here on a bike. Okay, guy just standing there. He's on his bike though. And they let's stop here for a second. They film, and they want people to, get upset or engage with them, and it gets crazy. I'm gonna stop talking because there's this guy up here. I don't like talking when there's people around. I just talk to myself, that's it. This is a nice straight stretch. Constantly uphill. Going up the bogs. There's that bend in the trail way up there. Let's get a shot of that. So there's the trail, all straight and all that. But right up there, or let's say left up there, there's a bend. And that bend turns, and that follows that bogs road up to the bogs trailhead. Well, when I first started watching those kind of videos, you would have more of the federal employees at the post office complaining and telling those auditors, you can't be in here, you can't be filming. And then they would go, yes we can. Here's poster 7. See, here's the rules and regulations. It tells you that we can. And there'd be all these disputes with the postal employees that don't want to be filmed. Then they'd call the police. The police would show up. Now, a lot of the times, for a couple of 3 years ago, the police would hassle these people and try to kick them out, or unlawfully trespass them, unlawfully detain them, whatever, or even arrest them. Now, more so nowadays, it's like, well, they're allowed to be in here. Just ignore them. But those First Amendment auditors can get pretty unruly, causing all kind of grief. Hi. They'll be doing all this filming and they'll be standing there, and some of basically it's the customers who are getting unruly to start. And then if the auditors, talk back or fight back, that happens. But you see a lot of unhinged people. It's really interesting, a social experiment, to watch this stuff, to see how people react. And most of it's not good. People are such morons. The anger issues. And there's, oh man, it's unbelievable. Supposedly educated people start freaking out. And it's all related to their entitlement. What I hate to see is some Karens getting that way and then complaining and crying to get sympathy. All you had to do is walk in, do your business, and walk out. Oh, this is getting a little bit tricky here. Where are we on knowledge? Okay, 1.64. I think we're going to turn around pretty soon here. 1.65 is a good number. This is about as far as I come. The furthest I ever came was way up there at the next mile marker, 10.5. Where there's that curve. You can see the curve to bogs. Now I'm looking over there across the way. I can see, well, it's still hard, even without the leaves, it's still hard to see. Let's do this. That's a recycling place up there. Alright, let's do some selfies. We haven't done too many of those today. There's that straightaway. Damn, things are always crooked. Alright, so there's that straightaway, and then there's one going that way. That goes back to Imperial. There's that building over there. I think we're going to turn around now. If I was younger, I'd go all the way to Boggs, but I'm sure I'd make it fine today even, but then I have to come back, so I don't want to take any chances. So it's like 1.66 miles turn around, because it would take me another at least a mile, maybe a mile and a half, mile and a quarter to get to Boggs, and then I'd have to come all the way back. So now if I break out that bike again, I'll be able to do it, but going on this uphill here, I don't think I'm going to like it pedaling that bike. Way more energy you have to use to do that instead of just walking, or as opposed to walking. I'm getting sweaty now. Let me see what the temperatures are saying. Okay, so it's saying it's 70 degrees. It's getting more humid today because of the moisture's coming up from the south. The winds. Now, tonight is going to be this storm coming in from the northeast, coming down, bringing all the lightning and thunder and the cold front. I'm so glad we're out of winter, though. This winter wasn't too good. This past winter it was cold and snowy. Late January we had that snow, and they were saying that that was the biggest snow since 2010 in Pittsburgh area. It wasn't as big as the 2010, but it was the biggest since then. I do not like that. I did not know that. I like saying that. And I used to say that to my mom. She'd say something like that. I did not know that. And she started cracking up. I did not know that. So that's what Johnny Carson used to say that all the time. He'd look at Ed McMahon, and Ed would say something, and Johnny would go, I did not know that. It's funny when you don't use contractions, when you speak out the words without the contractions, the way it's intended to be, the way it's supposed to be, it turns out to be funny. Because most people don't talk like that. You say, I didn't know that. You say, I did not know that. Putting the emphasis on it, for sure. For reals. And I'm sure some of those auditors that get rowdy over there in California in the post offices, and they get like really crazy. And it's mostly because of the people that react to them, but they contribute to it. Once they get a reaction, they contribute to it, and then it gets real loud, and they start swearing at the people, and everybody starts fighting, basically. And somebody calls the cops show up, and the cops are like, oh, they can do whatever, they're allowed to do this, blah, 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 just ignore them. And I'm thinking, something's gonna reach a boiling point with this, and it's gonna end up where you can't do this anymore, because it is getting really retarded. And if you're just an average customer standing in line, and you have to put up with this nonsense around you, people basically yelling and screaming and fighting and swearing, you shouldn't have to put up with it. They should be taken out for disorderly conduct or something. But most of these videos I watch are in California. And California, who knows? All the liberals over there. You can't infringe on their rights, so you gotta let them act stupid. I'm sure if you pulled that stuff in our state, Pennsylvania, you wouldn't last as long. You'd get arrested. Or like, say, Texas or Florida or somewhere where there's some common sense, you would get arrested for that behavior, and they would put a stop to it. I mean, some of this stuff's funny to watch, it's entertaining, but I don't know, it's crazy stuff. Really exposes the uneducated people everywhere in our country. The uneducated and entitled people everywhere. Very rarely are people respecting each other, at least on these videos I'm watching. There's that road, there's that pipeline again. Taking a little break here, I'm getting a little sweaty. Sweaty. Good old-fashioned tap water in a bottle. Could have made it myself with a proper filter. Filter my own tap water. But I'd rather spend money. Exorbitant amount of money, sorry. That's a nice rock formation right there. I like it. Rocks. Kick rocks, buddy. Kick moss. Kick moss. I was just watching something on YouTube the other day. So many rail trails all over, everywhere in the country. I mean, imagine what it used to look like in our country with all the trains everywhere. And that's all ended. Trains carrying the coal and all that. So that's everywhere. All over the country, really. Every state, every city. And there are going to be trails like this, that are not too steep, not too much of a gradient, because of the trains used to take these tracks right here, these paths. So it can't be too steep. And that's what's great for walking. I don't know if it's worth it though to drive, like an hour, say like an hour and 15 minutes to get down to somewhere like, West Newton or somewhere, then get on the Gap Trail, the trailhead there, get on the Gap Trail and then walk for just like a mile and a half in one direction, come back. It's like, well, that's fun, but it's a long drive just to do that one little thing. But it's something different, so I might be doing that. Expand your trail walking. Different locations, different trails. Say I was at the Y today, but I didn't know it because I can't see it. But really, it's straight ahead for me. Now, here's another thing that's been happening, let's say more frequently over the last couple of years. When it's time to get your prescriptions refilled, and most of the pharmacies they'll reach out to you, they'll say it's time for whatever, or you can do the automatic refills, and they automatically call the doctor when you need refills, if you don't have enough refills left, or have zero left. But I've found in the last year and a half at least that stuff falls through the cracks where they try to contact your doctor. They say they contacted the doctor, they try, and then they keep saying, well, hey, we didn't hear back from your doctor. Then you call your doctor's office, try to intervene, say, hey, what's going on? They go, hey, we never got anything yet. We don't know what you're talking about. And then you have to be the middleman to force it. Say, well, okay, please send them the refill request so I can get my pills. And then they do it if you intervene. But why do you have to be a middleman? Why do you have to take action? It's just started in the last year and a half or so. And this is 2 different pharmacies I'm talking about, so it's not just one pharmacy. It all gets back to the deterioration of our country. But we're getting it back. We got to get it back. Build it back up. It's more like everywhere you go, basically, or anything you do, you've got to double check it. If you want something to get done right, you have to do it, take action yourself. I remember last year when I had that Blazer being repaired, and I had for the hail damage, and I had that car rental, and it was going to run out because they were taking so long to fix it. And then the guy at the dealership said, okay, sorry about that, and I'll take over your rental payments. Once your thing runs out, once your insurance runs out on that, I'll take over for the rest of the time, the duration of the repair. As soon as I got off the phone with him, because he said, I'll call him right now. So I immediately got on the phone to the car rental place to confirm it and to explain it, because I'm thinking, I ain't trusting anybody. Trust but verify. No, I don't trust anything. Verify first, then you can trust. They always said trust but verify. I think I should have said, all right, who said that? Reagan, Bush, over the years. Trust but verify. I would say, verify it, then maybe trust them, whoever they are. There's a squirrel going up a tree. I was going to take a... As soon as I start taking a picture, it runs away, so... He's right. They don't stay in one place long enough. Now this Iran deal, or thing, hear Trump saying it every day, pretty much, that we've won, and they're decimated, and they have nothing, and they better make a deal. And if they don't make a deal, if they don't, give in to the fact that they've lost, we're going to start bombing their power plants, and we're going to totally decimate the country forever. Hi. Well, that's the next thing that's coming. Trump gave them, I don't know, like he does his timelines, time constraints. Like he said, 5 days. Whatever he said, it was 5 days ago, or 5 days is coming up pretty soon. Then he's gonna, if they don't make a deal, he's gonna bomb more stuff. And then that would mean it's gonna hurt the people even more because of they'll be out of power. They won't have electricity and all that. But, it's got to be done. Something's got to be done to get rid of that regime. To make it so that they really and truly do surrender. And they really and truly understand that they can't continue the way they were. The terroristic regime. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be really true that it'll be solved that way. I don't know. But, like he said, if they don't give in, they don't surrender and make a deal, agree to the terms and make a deal, we'll just keep bombing them. We'll just bomb he said it the other day, we'll just bomb our little hearts out. He's good with that. I mean, he just comes right out and says it. Bomb our little hearts out. This is a good trip today, and my heart rate's really great. Actually, I'm feeling pretty good in the last, say, 2 weeks or so. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm watching what I eat a little more. A little bit better diet. More vegetables, salads, and things. Less pasta. I was eating a lot of pasta. I would eat like rice and spaghetti and that. Now I haven't had that for a while. There's another squirrel. I don't know if I could get this before he runs away. What the hell is that? is right there. It's squirrel. Hey, squirrel, how you doing? Huh. I'm sitting there talking to that squirrel, and that guy walks past, runs past. I'm like, yeah. And that's when I started saying that I do most of my shopping in Giant Eagle supermarkets and like that Market District. I love that Market District up there at Settlers Ridge. It's a cool place. But I noticed, so one day, I'd say about a month and a half ago, I went into a Walmart just for kicks, just for something different. And I saw all kind of different things, different foods and stuff that I normally don't see or normally don't buy. And then when I got done, I bought some things and I left. I'm taking a look at my sales receipt. I'm thinking, man, this stuff is really cheap here. And I compared it to one of my receipts from Giant Eagle, even with all the reductions from coupons or whatever, savings, and it was like way cheaper in Walmart. And I was like, I never used to like going into Walmarts. I hate Walmarts, but there's one of them up there. I like it actually. My parents used to tell me that all the time. They say, we go to Walmart. I go, why are you going to Walmart? That stinks. They're like, oh, we got to do it. It's cheaper. They were retired, and they said, go to Walmart and get your stuff cheaper. It's amazing how much cheaper it is in Walmart than it is in Giant Eagle or Shop and Save. And I believed them too, but I mean, I didn't do it. But now that I'm retired, I'd like to keep some of my money for me instead of paying through the nose all the time. So I've been going to Walmart periodically over the last, say, month and a half. It depends on where you go, because there's one out there in Moon Township. It's a smaller location, I guess. It's not too bad, actually. The parking lot stinks. It's real tight. But it's not too bad there, okay? I go to the larger one. It's more crowded up there near the Point, Robinson Township. That I don't like. It's just people are too crazy, too rude. It's too busy. Time for a water break. Huh. Yeah. I could go for years without making salad, eating salads. I mean, I would eat from restaurants when I'd go, and maybe once a week I'd have a salad, maybe not. But now I've been having like salads almost every day. Buying them prepackaged. They're pretty good, huh? This video is crazy with all this rambling nonsense. When that guy's flying. See, when I had that bike and I was, getting my bearings, and it was like, hadn't been doing it for like 50 years, and all of a sudden you're going to try to ride a bike again, I did okay. But when I would come up upon something tight, like these little, these barriers up here, I would get, I'd slow down. I'd say, oh man, I'm going to make it through there without crashing. I didn't give it enough time. I did it for a little bit and then I quit. And I said, nah, forget it, I'm not doing that. So I didn't do it for the last 2 years. Now we're kind of on the level. We came downhill that way, and now we're more on the level. Well, this past year has been riddled with government shutdowns. Every time there's something, some milestone coming up, some deadline, the Dems pull something at the last minute and say we're not going along with that. Plus they also lie. They're evil. They're evil liars. This is what I said last year. I remember last fall it was going on. There was that shutdown. And I kept saying, why don't the Republicans or Trump, keep coming out and saying, hey, look, you guys, this was approved already. It's law with the one big beautiful bill. Just because you don't like it, there's no reason to try to overturn it. But that's exactly what they're doing now. And so he's been saying that lately, which I like to hear him say it. Hi. I'm glad he's making it clear in various speeches that he's made recently. He says, hey, look, this has already been approved. And he says it like, they already approved it. Which, meanwhile, they didn't want it. But it became law, okay? It got approved with mostly Republican-only votes. But nevertheless, it's law. That's what he needs to keep driving home, to make it clear to everybody. This is already approved, and they're trying to go back. They're trying to undermine. I don't even know who's more despicable, those Democrats, in government, or the media, the bulk of the media. They're sick. I love how they get slammed by Caroline. Love it every time. Every stinking time they come up with some lame ass, statements or accusations, and she puts them in their place. As does Trump, as does, Hegseth, Rubio, you name it. Yeah, there's that sign that you can tell that at least the frame is newer, a different color wood. The sign looks new too, the white sign. Now we're on the level, and at least it's not uphill. It's a little harder to walk than it was going downhill, because I'm getting tired now. We've been walking, we're at 2.95 miles. Well, you figure 1.65 times 2 is going to be about 3.3 when I get done. There's a swimming pool right there, boys. That look nasty. That water in that swimming pool. Route 30. Route 30. The Lincoln Highway. My favorite bridge, girders. Well, let's say my favorite girders. My favorite bridge is that one down at the Greer Tunnel, outside of the Greer Tunnel. That's my favorite bridge. That through truss bridge. This is my favorite. Girders. So there we go. So that's this right here. And we went, we're just going over it. The Montour Railroad. Lincoln Highway. Notice they don't have any dates down here like when the sign was made. It's nice though. Cool. Hi. Just 2 weeks ago I was up here and was complaining about how cold it was. Now I'm going to be complaining about how hot it is. Not quite yet, but pretty soon. We got to go past where that guy in front of me is walking. Where's that blue sign down there? We're going to go past where I came off onto the trail. We'll go past it and go down to that building and look at the train car. Just because we can. Trump train. This is the place where you can see, yeah, right down there, the tires they use. Okay, so let's get some shots of that. So let's get this going here. All right, so that way goes back to Santiago. There's that girders. Zoom in on that real quick, okay? Now down there, you've got your wall with rocks, made of rock, right? And over here, you've got your wall made of tires, old tires. So like tires turn into rocks, rocks turn into tires right about there. Rocks become tires, tires become rocks. It's interesting. Using old tires to build walls. There's my vehicle. It's a great trailhead. I feel safe here. It's nice, paved. It's right in the center of Imperial. I feel safe. Alright, so we're going to go up to that other entrance. I wonder whatever happened to that sign. They used to have that sign that had that activity center, and then it had like something about the trail. And it used to be hanging up here, and then for a while it was leaning up against the building, and now it's nowhere. I'm getting tired now. We're at 3.3 right now. So there's that caboose. It's nice. And here's Rain Gardens sign, which the actual gardens don't look too great. Right in there. That needs to be refurbished. Now what's this? Hustle for Hope 5K, Donaldson Park, Saturday, April 11th. Well, let's cut through here. The Activity Center. How much you want to bet? Like if you try to go in there, someone's gonna say, "Well, you got to show your ID and all that to come in, show that you're a resident and you're a legal resident, United States citizen, blah blah blah. Show your photo ID." And they go, "Well, I could vote without that." How stupid is that? Not that you can vote without an ID. Alrighty then, we are at the Imperial Activity Center, and we are going to wrap up this video. Illegal turn, illegal turn. See the guy right there, he came in at the exit. Dumbass. Let's turn off the body cam and say bye-bye.